I guess my perspective and also a bit of Qualcomm's, I too being an old operator guy, but I made the jump out of there about 10 or 12 years ago, 13 years at Bell Atlantic. I remember the days carrying around a wooden mock-up of a Sierra Wireless Pocket Plus modem and telling people this is what wireless data is going to look like in the next year or two, and how far we've come. But Qualcomm really from the outset bet the company that data was going to be an important part of the business. Based on one study I read, it took 100 years in the US for data traffic to surpass voice traffic on the wireline networks. So 1876 to 1976. We knew it would never take that long in wireless, and we're seeing it actually happen around the world. So great trend, obviously, for all of us up here to take advantage of. I guess my hope and I appreciate being included today, my hope is that we can really use this to serve as a catalyst, because I look at so many of the opportunities, and some of them have the whale syndrome attached to them, which to me is, well, you look at the healthcare industry as an example. I probably estimate 30 years behind some of the rest of enterprise companies in terms of automating their back-end processes, so it becomes this daunting challenge. But the great thing about our industry, and as you mentioned, Glenn, because where costs have come for devices, consumers drive so much of the behavior into our industry. What we would have thought 15 years ago was that enterprises were really going to lead the charge for data services to take off. It's clearly been driven by the consumer. And I think healthcare will end up being driven by the consumer. I think certain things around connected vehicle will be driven by the consumer. So they have a very loud voice into the industry now, and where we sit, technology really isn't the limiting factor. It's just using this as a catalyst to start to go after some of these big challenges. And maybe again, just a couple. In healthcare, the wonderful opportunity here is we have an opportunity in the developed world to use this type of communications to reduce cost. Keep people out of emergency rooms when they don't need to be there, or take care of them for chronic diseases. In the developing world, it'll be about providing access for the first time, where people haven't had access to healthcare, but also having to do it very, very cost effectively. Smart grid, I've been making the pitch that that's not just so much a matter of reliability, it's one of national security for countries as well. We've got to manage our electric grids better. One quick story around that. I saw someone speak from SDG&E here, our local utility, and they talk about this phenomenon we have of being a peninsula on the grid, where we've got Mexico there and the ocean there, and don't have the diversity of the ability to feed in electricity here that you have in the middle of the country. And what he shared was, he asked us by show of hands, how many people have more than one refrigerator in their home, and now everybody raised their hands, and how many had more than two. He said that and your refrigerator defrosts once a day, the coils on the back of it. And he said if all of those refrigerators in San Diego County did that at the exact same time, and the grid was at peak utilization, we'd need 2 more power plants in the city of San Diego just to take care of that. No magic to the fact that your refrigerator would have to defrost when the grid was at peak utilization, and that's how that system has been designed. So something as simple as getting wireless connectivity into that device to control when that happens can enable us to start engineering our grid for what would be a lower peak utilization. So, I look at both improvements to quality of life, but clear cost justifications to blaze this trail. My hope today is that this study will serve as one of the catalysts to do so.